everybody, Jeff here, and welcome back to our channel to another tool review. And if you're new here, we give you all sorts of world-class information on how to remodel your house, how to remodel your kitchens, your bathrooms, your flooring, how to solve all sorts of tough engineering disasters and hard repairs around your house. And we do tool reviews like we're doing today. We do shop with me's at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Costco so that you can always be alert to what's the latest, greatest out there. And if you haven't subscribed to us yet, make sure you click on that subscribe button down below and be absolutely certain that you click that little gray bell icon right next to it. That will alert you every single time we upload a video. Otherwise, you'll never know about it when we do. So today's tool review here that we're doing for you is the Milwaukee 0880-20. This is the tool-only version of the M18 2-gallon wet dry vacuum, and it is certified HEPA. It has a certified HEPA filter that comes in the box with it. So if you came here looking for a quickie 5-minute tool review video, this is not the video for you. So you will just have to skip ahead in the video if you want, fast forward it, use the little scrubber at the bottom of the YouTube console there and just move ahead. About a week or so before Black Friday. So this was part of that buy one get one deal that they were running there through all of the whole Black Friday period. And if you bought this Milwaukee charger with these two Milwaukee batteries here for $199, you got to choose between about a half dozen different free tools that they had available, and this was one of them. So we chose this one because it had a $119 value at the time. So during a normal time when there's no sale on this unit, you'll find it for $119. But yet we also knew that come Black Friday this was going to drop to $89. But this is a secondary backup here. Okay, now you folks know me, and virtually every time I go in there and I buy something big, I try to use these Lowe's 10% off coupons at Home Depot. They will accept them, they honor them there. But the problem is on this particular deal, because it was buy one get one, there was something in their computers that kind of shut out all use of any type of coupons. But we did go in and get other Black Friday discounted stuff that we were able to use with this. So since we acquired all of this here as part of our Black Friday haul, we did a really great video. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a link to it down in the description for you, of our Black Friday haul video that shows everything that we got from Costco, Sam's, and Home Depot for the Black Friday sale here. So that will be down in the description below. All right, so let's do the unboxing now. There's the owner's manual. And here's our product here. Okay. So here's what it looks like here. I'll give you a look at all four sides here. So I like the power button up front. It's like a nice big toggle, and there's a rubber gasket around it too. So you can see right there, it's all spongy rubbery there. That's the gasket that seals it out. It looks nice mechanism, I like that. Okay, now you and I both know there's a lot of stupid people in the world here. So they actually had to engrave right here, no step, to let people know that you don't step on this thing at all. You don't use it as a ladder here. But you know what, somebody that stupid isn't going to see this tiny little engraved printing here though. That's my opinion. Okay, so here you can see the current lineup of all my vacuums here and how the Milwaukee here stacks up to the other ones here. Now, this is part of my Black Friday haul this year for Black Friday at Home Depot, where I got this Milwaukee vacuum, and I also picked up this rigid vac here. This is a 16-gallon vac that's normally on the floor at $99, and I paid $39 for it. That was one of the Black Friday blowout deals. Incredible doorbuster deal. Then while I was at it, I paid 20 bucks and bought this auto detailing kit as well, which comes with the smaller orange hose that's much more manageable in the car, and all of the crevice tools and everything else you need to vacuum your car. And then this right here is my older rigid 4-gallon. This is my favorite go-to one, just because it's before the Milwaukee one. This one was so easy to just carry around and wheel it around and bring it anywhere you wanted in the house. And then this was the big old one that we built this custom cart for here, and it's on wheels, and we can store the electrical cord. We can wrap it around this feature here and store all of the boatloads of parts and accessories that we have here. But we were tired of this whole thing. I never really liked it because this on-off switch here is just, it's a really stupid design. I don't like it, and it hasn't worked very well for us. So that was the reason why I'm dumping this. We're going to clean this up and sell it on Craigslist. Okay, now along the front and top you have these two latches here. They're both made out of plastic. It's kind of a tough plastic, it feels like, maybe a Lexan, I don't know. And you know what, overall this plastic kind of reminds me of their job site pro organizer, so I'm wondering if maybe Keter made this for them like they did the organizer. So Keter's in Israel. The vacuum is made in China, the filter is made in China, the accessories are made in China. Let me test the battery, make sure it's good. Yep, got 4 bars. Now what I want to see is how easy is it to pull the battery out. I've never really been a fan of these Milwaukee batteries because they're really hard to get out of their chargers too. So you really got to pull on it. You got to use a lot of force. So if you have weak fingers and weak hands, you're not going to be able to use this product. That's something that I can observe right off the bat there. Because I can see, I mean, I got it pushed all the way in, and you really got to yank on it hard to get it to come out. Okay, so now if you need to get inside the unit to empty it out or clean it out or whatever, there's 2 big latches on either side. There's one here at the bottom on the front. And then you spin the unit around. There is another latch right here on the back side of it. Once you've released both of those latches, see, now you can pull the whole unit up, and there's your HEPA filter right there. So then you would just dump this out, clean it out, and if you need to clean the filter or put a new filter on, you put the new filter on. Okay, now here's a look at the underside of it. So I've got it lying upside down facing upward here so you can see the filter. Changing the filter is an absolute breeze. So to unlock it, you just do a half turn like that. Not even a half turn, it's more like an 1/8 turn. But it pops right up like that. There's your float. Okay, so then I put the new filter in. You just reverse the steps, put it right down in there. They're keyed in. The tabs go into those slots there. And then you turn, twist and lock. Just like that. Now, one thing I wanted to point out to you as a warning to you folks, if you're going to use this vacuum for water, you do not leave the filter in. You must remove the filter. I see so many people make this mistake because a lot of people don't know. Do I leave it in? Do I not leave it in? What do I do? You have to remove the filter. And as you can see here at the top of the filter, Milwaukee thought it was important enough to remind you about it that they put this engravement there. So that's the circle with the line through it for that's supposed to be a tub faucet there. So they're trying to let you know, no water in this thing. Do not let any water get on this filter. So as we look elsewhere on the underside of the upper lid here, you can see the black gasket that runs around there. That's our waterproofing gasket. So here you can see it's nice and spongy gasket here. So it doesn't really say on the box what type of IP rating we're getting here. Now if you look here where the battery is plugged in here, the battery compartment does have space that you could probably fit another battery, but it would have to be a really small one. Either that or you use a small one and then fit another small one. So I don't have any other small Milwaukee batteries to try this idea out or not, because I only use these bigger batteries anyway. I'd like to get a couple of smaller ones maybe to try out, but this is what we have for now. Now, I like the fact that this Milwaukee M18 wet dry vacuum here has a blower port right there too. So the way this works is like this. You just take the tab here on the hose where it's plugged into the vacuum port, and you just unlock it like that by turning it a little bit. And it pops right up. So if you'll notice here, right by the shark fin, there's this little tab that sticks up here on the end of the hose. That's what you have to get to fit into the hole right over here, the little slot on the side of the port. So all I do is I line up the fin with the slot there, put it in there, and just click it into place, and there you have it. Now you're ready to use this as a blower. This has a pretty good airflow coming out of it. Okay, so we will weigh it first here without the battery in it. And it comes in at 10 pounds, 3 ounces. And let's see, with the battery, how much it weighs. So it comes in at about 11 pounds, 12 ounces approximately. All right, so we're going to measure the distance across the front here now. And let's see what we get here with the old Lufkin. So this measures exactly, looks like it to be about 17 inches across. All right, and so now for the height, we get exactly 12 inches tall. Okay, and now for the width, looks like we're getting right about 8.5 inches wide, or deep, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now for doing our sound pressure level readings here, I'm going to set it to 90 decibels range here. And then I'm going to make sure that we are here on C weighting. That's the same weighting that we use when we're testing the home theater systems. Okay, so let's compare that level here to my rigid 4-gallon vac. Alright, so now we have a fully charged battery in here, and now we're just going to turn on the vacuum and let it run till the end and see how long it lasts. So here you can see we got 6 minutes and 52 seconds here out of this 3 amp hour battery. Now Milwaukee Tools claims that you can get up to 30 minutes use with the vacuum here if you are using a 9 amp hour battery. Alright, so one of the things that I really like about this is the speed at which you can get started. So watch this, here I am, just brought it outside. You set it up on the thing, you pull the hose out, make sure it's trapped in the hole there, and you're ready to go, just like that, boom. Now, if you want to hook your sander up to it, so I have my old DeWalt palm sander here. This is from, I think I bought this in 2009. It's about 10 years old. So it comes with this port sort of built onto it. Now there's another adapter that I have. It's a rubber piece that we had bought originally, but you could connect this onto there like that. It's not very, it doesn't lock in place. This much will work right here. If you just kind of hold it, maybe hold it like that or whatever, but it will work. We want to test it out here. We'll just turn it on. I can hear the suction coming in here. So it is working there. The other thing you can do is you can use the appropriate adapter, this is the appropriate adapter for this particular model. And the way this one works, which is sort of a pain, is it's just a friction hold, and it does sometimes pop off on us. But you can see what it does is it allows you to have different sizes all at once here, and you would just take your hose and stick it on there, and whichever one it sticks on. So this doesn't really stick on any one of these really any better than it did without it. So it's up to you. I wouldn't bother trying to use it with this thing, because now you're going to fight two things coming off, this thing and the hose. So better to just put it on there like that. Some people will wrap a little tape around it. Some people will make their own little adapter that will adapt to this. Okay, now trying to find a good adapter here to try to connect our Milwaukee 2-gallon wet dry vac here to the DeWalt electric sander is kind of a fool's errand. It's always been a real problem for us dealing with sanders and trying to get them to mate up to our particular vacuums. And that's because the companies like DeWalt always want you to end up using their own stuff. So I think they purposely make it so that stuff doesn't work for you. So let's try this one first. This is a common one that converts like 2.5 down to 1 1/4. I forget what, but it takes the medium-size hose and converts it to the smaller size hose that we use on the tiny shop vacs. So you could theoretically get it on there like that, and even then it really won't stay. So there's really not much. You could kind of wedge it in there, but then the hose for the Milwaukee vacuum doesn't fit on there because both of these are the same size. You see, these are both 1 1/4. So this part is out. You can't use this one. That doesn't do anything for us. How about this one here? This is what converts the 1.5 probably down to 1 1/4 or 1. Again, I don't try to memorize the numbers. It doesn't fit that way, but it does fit on that way. Okay, so let's see if the hose will somehow fit in there. And see, it won't even, there's a center hole in there, see, but it won't fit in there because the hole is smaller than this here. So that's out. We could try this guy here. This is the part that originally came with the sander, the DeWalt sander. That's supposed to allow you to adapt to many different sizes here, and that's the one that we already tried, and we could barely get it to, it won't stay on, you have to hold it, so that's not going to work. Like I said, you're better off using it without it. And then here we have this little piece. I got this, that I picked this up at Home Depot. This is actually used in plumbing to convert one size of pipe to another. But we could try putting this on here. Alright, so he's on tight there, but then there's really no way to make it, I mean, that sort of plugs in, and it sort of holds a little bit. That's not too bad. If you got another band and put it right here, that would hold it right there for you, no problem. Okay, so one of the tests that I want to put this Milwaukee wet dry vac here through is I created this board here where I mudded up a whole bunch of drywall mud here that made it all rough. So we're going to do some sanding and see if it can collect any of the dust up. See how well it does with that. And of course, anytime you're doing that, you want to wear a mask because you don't want to be breathing in that fine dust. Cover me, I'm going in. Okay, so now when we lift up the top there, you can see it captured quite a bit of the powder in there, so at least we know it's doing that much. Does it capture all of it? No. And that has to do with the fact that the CFMs I don't think are strong enough. Yeah, so here's the inside of the bottom of the vac here. So just in that, what was it, 15-20 seconds or so that we were sanding, it did capture a lot of dust. But I could also see a lot of dust that was escaping around the edge of the sander. Okay, so now we just want to see how well it does on this little stack of leaves here. These are rather large particles. So let's try it out. Okay, so as we look down on the bottom there, we can see they all made it in there okay. And none of them are trapped in the filter. That's a good sign. Okay, now you see all of this residue here of drywall powder. So I want to see how well it does on picking that up. Now, you know, this is a good, because you have textured plastic here. And a lot of times the vacuums don't do a good job of getting all of the dust up just with using this. I've always found that you do the attachment first, which I'll show you in a second here. I just want to try this here. See, it only gets up about half of it, right? So now we're going to try putting on one of the attachments that gives it a little bit better suction. Okay, so now I have the big attachment on here, and we'll try it again and see how it does. And so you can see that did a little bit more. But what I've always found that the only thing that works the best is after you do the big attachments or the floor roller attachments, what gets all of the dust like this off of wood floors is using the brush attachment. And so this is the strategy I use when I'm cleaning the wood floors. So if you haven't seen our other video on how to perfectly clean wood floors and get all of the powder off so you're not tracking it through the house, I'll put a link to that down in the description there. Yeah, that's a very, very informative video for you. So here, I'll put this on here, and we'll see if it will get rid of any of these other little residue spots here. Yep. So you can see how it got rid of all the rest, every little speck of the residue here. That's why vacuums by themselves, with all of their attachments, don't do any good unless you finish off with the brush attachment. And this Milwaukee 2-gallon wet dry vacuum is no different than all the other vacuums out there. It has the same limitation there. Okay, so now I'm sitting here with my Auto Geek bucket, what I normally use here for car washes here. But I've got it preloaded here with 2 gallons of water, and we're going to see if this Milwaukee 2-gallon wet vac here can do its job and live up to its name. Okay, so you can see here we're filled exactly up to the 2-gallon line, and let's give her a try. Don't forget, you got to remove the HEPA filter here before you start to vacuum up any water. And the float will do its job once it gets to 2 gallons, hopefully. All right, here we go. Okay, so it looks like the float switch cut it off just a little bit before 2 gallons. And we had exactly 2 gallons in there. There's about a ½ inch deep of water in there right now, still in the bucket. See if I stick my hand in there, goes up to just over the top of my thumbnail there. So there's about a ½ inch of water still left in the bucket. So it didn't quite pull up all 2 gallons worth. Okay, so let's see how we did here. Do that latch on the front and the other latch on the back. You pull the top away. There's your 2 gallons approximately of water. So it looked like it was slightly less than 2 gallons. But look, it soaked it right up, and you saw how fast it sucked it up too. That was pretty good. Okay, so I have the insides all cleaned up, dried off. And now we're going to try using the Milwaukee M18 vacuum here as a blower. Okay, so to use it as a blower, I'm going to disconnect the hose from here, as I showed you before. It'll come off here. I'll close the lid down. I'll turn the unit around here. I'll line the fin up with the tab holes. And there we go, we're locked into place. Now we're ready to use it as a blower. And let's see how it does on these leaves right here. So you can see how I can repeatedly blow the soil back up onto the sidewalk here. And then just blow it right back in. So yeah, it's not too bad. So this did a decent job blowing, and certainly I would use this anywhere like on your workbenches where you're working with sawdust to help blow it out of the way. This is perfect for that. It's only about 45 CFMs if I remember correctly. And it's about half as strong as a hair dryer, or maybe your hair dryer on the lowest setting. But certainly you saw how much I was able to blow all of the dirt and leaves out of there and just blow it back again and keep going with it. Okay, so now I want to see how well our Milwaukee wet dry vacuum here does on the sand. We have a bucket of sand here. Let's try this out. So as you can see here, it took all of it and it said, give me more. But surprisingly though, some of the sand actually got caught in the hose. In fact, it was quite a bit. My overall opinion of this Milwaukee 2-gallon wet dry vac is that, yeah, I'm glad I got it. I would say the things I like about it the most are a nicely protected power switch that's easy to operate, the power switch there. The whole unit is very light. I like the fact that it's rectangular in shape and that you can store stuff on top of it. It's flat. You can store stuff on top and it won't hit the power button by mistake, which is a good thought design there. I like the fact that everything is contained inside the lid like this, that you can just pop it open like this, and that's how fast it takes till you're ready to use it. I like that, and I like the fact that it holds 2 other tools in here, and the battery goes inside, everything's inside. But let me just warn you though, this unit is not for heavy use. This is for light use only. I don't think it's very practical to try to use this with a sander, as you saw we try to do. Unless maybe you're just doing a little small area of sanding, but even then just too much dust gets kicked out because this just doesn't have the power that these other units that I showed you have, like my 16-gallon or even my 4-gallon, which is an excellent unit that I use all of the time when I'm using my DeWalt sander. Some of the things that I don't like about this unit are the fact that I can't squeeze more than 1 battery in if I'm using this larger battery. Now, I don't have any of the smaller ones, so I don't know if you can squeeze 2 of them in there, but it would be nice to be able to hold a spare for the larger ones as well. The other thing too is that there's not much by way of attachment. So you have these 2, which is fine, but it would have been nice if they had provided us with a brushed attachment and a better nozzle here that would more or less fit most of the other standard parts that we were trying, but does not seem to want to fit. The other thing that would be nice here that Milwaukee did not include for us is it would be nice if they had a port to charge the battery while it's in there. It would be so cool to be able to charge our battery and plug it in if we wanted to, or even better, to operate this vacuum here with 120 volts in case the battery dies. They should have given us a port here right on the side of the box here. And right on the side of the box on the outside, they could have put a little port here where we could have just plugged in a plug and go to the wall and then operate it that way. That would have made this a slam dunk. I mean, really, Milwaukee, what the heck were you guys thinking, you know? You're engineers. You should be thinking this kind of stuff. I'm an electrical engineer myself, and I'm almost embarrassed for you guys. So I'm hoping you folks at Milwaukee are paying attention and that you come up with a scheme here, maybe on a future model of this, an upgrade model, that will allow us to plug into the wall and also charge the battery while it's in here if we want to do that as well. And if you're finding this video useful so far, hey, do us a favor, give us a thumbs up down below. That tells us that you like us and it helps our videos rank better. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel and you like what you saw here, boy, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below there, because you don't want to miss any of the videos that we put out. All sorts of world-class videos on remodeling and other tool reviews like this. And make sure you click that bell icon after you subscribe. Otherwise, you won't be notified. We'll put up all of these videos and you won't even hear about it. You won't even know about it. So anyway, thank you again, folks, for tuning in this week, and we'll see you on the next one.